Yeah, you can hear me now?
Very clear, yes.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you, dear listeners. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you are from. I'm Hilda Ikiriza. I work with Mbarara University of Science and Technology, Faculty of Science, Department of Biology. That is briefly how I can introduce myself. And since time is really moving, we have really delayed. Sorry to the technologies, but shall get there. I would request you, Abel, to go straight to our first slide. I just thought, do we really need scholarships for our career growth? And of course, definitely, even the richest people would need scholarships because it really releases your financial burden. Someone says the presenter is mute. Can you people hear me?
Yeah, you're very clear. Please proceed.
Okay. So I am saying that even the richest would really be relieved of the financial burden of paying tuition, accommodation and living expenses, and all other essential supplies. And of course, this would enable one to dedicate more time to studying, writing assignments, and signing up for additional programs. It also boosts your study experience because, you know, most of these scholarships, they give mentors. And of course, these mentors will really guide on your course. They will teach you some skills that you yourself maybe could take a lot of time if you were to do it alone. Some scholarships give access to internships and even travel or overseas for lab placements, for some trainings. And so these are opportunities one cannot get if you have not, there I can say some people will get, but really in our African setting, that will be 2% of people who can provide for themselves everything about really these courses that we usually learn. So of course, these scholarships also make someone get an edge in the job market. I will expound more on this as we proceed. But of course, you know, if you're under a scholarship and you're not looking at part-timing to boost your incomes, you are settled, and this gives you an added advantage for being available for any tasks ahead. And of course, if you're to get a job, then someone would need someone who is available. So this, having a scholarship, really gives one that added advantage in the job market, because after all, you will have more skills than someone who is running up and down looking for some more money for sustenance. Then also, winning these scholarships makes one believe in themselves and their abilities. Imagine if you applied and won a scholarship, then you feel really you have got what it takes to do any other thing. So it also boosts your self-esteem. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, so I would like to share with the listeners in how I won my first ever Madvan Foundation scholarship. I don't know if this one is also found in other countries, but this one majorly is here in Uganda. I got this one in, so this one, I got it in my second year because after senior 6, I could not make grades for medicine, my dream course. So my father could not make the money to take me for private sponsorship. It is the expensive course. So we opted to go for Bachelor of Science in Education, which was a cheaper alternative for me. and my parent could afford that. So, but of course, being from, I can say, a peasant background, I knew if I was to take it up to the 3 years, then maybe my siblings behind, some of them would get out of school. So I tried to keep on looking out for opportunities, and I landed on one core. Actually, at that time, these internet things were really not so like available too much, because the phones were not there. You had to go to the computer lab to access a computer. So mostly we used to read newspapers. And so a friend of mine brought an advert about the Madivan Scholarship Foundation. And wow, I applied like any other. And let me tell you, listeners, I had never been to Kampala because my bachelor's degrees, I was at Imbara University of Science and Technology. So I applied. I wrote applications, did my CV, put my everything, but I didn't know how to get to Kampala. So while I was there in my room, another friend comes out to borrow the jeans, these jeans, compasses. So I asked, where are you going? She says she's going to Kampala to drop her application. Wow. So I said, could you drop mine as well? First, she was doing a different course, and she offered to take for me. I gave her some little money for chai, and off she went. And of course, I also didn't have a phone at that time, so I put my roommate's phone number. And so later, they called my roommate that I go for interviews. I went for interviews, but yeah, surely I prepared myself even at that level. I can say I prepared myself for the interviews. And to cut the whole story short, among all the teachers that had applied, I was the only teacher taken up for that scholarship. So, but in those days, or at that time, I learned a few lessons from this, that you need to be informed. Because if I had not got that advert, then I would not have applied. So there are so many scholarships out there. You just need to be informed. You need to get the information and in time. Then also share such opportunities with your friends. Actually, it is not being selfish, but the person who gave me the information and the person who delivered my application letter, none of them got the opportunity. But I got it. And that does not stop you from moving on in life because some other person has taken an opportunity. After all, we are not even in the same courses. So also know about their timelines, the deadline. A student recently wanted a recommendation letter, but he sent the link. Of course, he said, help me, recommend me, so that I apply for this scholarship. So I requested him to send me a link for that call. And actually, when he sent it, it was past the deadline. So I think for him, he never bothered to see the exact date the call was ending. So it is important to get to know the deadline, to get to know about the terms and conditions of the scholarship. Because, for example, this Madivan Foundation scholarship was only paying for second years, that is the undergrad second years till the course is done. It was paying for masters and then PhD, but it was only giving tuition. So like if you apply and you don't know the terms, then you find maybe along the way you are getting disappointed, yet the terms were clear. Then also you need, of course, like before you apply, you need to get information about people's testimonies, those who have attended such scholarships, because even it will be important during your interviews. And then appear for the interview in time. And please appear when you are prepared, because nobody is going to give you a scholarship on a silver plate. you must get prepared. Next slide, please. Hello. Okay. So that scholarship, the Madvan Foundation scholarship, led me to be a teacher, Bachelor of Science with education. And I went to the field and I taught. But later I realized I needed to do more than just teaching. I needed to pursue my career beyond just teaching in secondary school. And so I also got another call. Still, this was, by the way, in the New Vision. Someone again showed me another opportunity. By then, I had already gotten married. I had 2 children. I hope this will encourage a lady out there. So I also applied. This was government call, Indian Council for Cultural Relations. It is between the government of Uganda and India, but also many other countries, African countries, have this scholarship running. So I applied. I remember we were 23 who were shortlisted for this scholarship, the master's group. I did, so what I can say is that I really prepared this time, because when I was shortlisted, I had to call my OGs who had attempted this scholarship and were successful. So I called them, they told me you have to prepare like this. And so I prepared myself in time. And it was a hard decision also, even when you're doing the interviews and all that, but I was still scared how I would leave my children, how I would leave my young family behind. But I had something to pursue. So in all this, I also will put down a few briefs that I learned through this, that you have to be ready to learn, harden, think and act smart, and also make smart concept and prepare for the interview. Here, because I had a young family, it needed my time, but I also needed this career. So we had to work smart to make this thing work out. And also you need to know why exactly and specifically why you're applying for this scholarship. The ICCR scholarship is not, I can say, it's not really a wealthy scholarship. It gives the basics, the tuition, the accommodation, the ticket, the everything, but enough to sustain someone on course. So like if you're a person who thinks you'll go study, make money on the scholarship, come back and then start driving immediately, this may not work. So, but for me, my passion was really to add on, to go for an MSc, and in biotechnology. That was what I wanted. So since I got the opportunity, I did not look at the rest. Actually, even I remember at the airport, when I had passed through, some lady asked me, but of all countries, why are you going to India? Why don't you wait for another bigger opportunity? But for me, this was an opportunity that I wanted. I wanted to study. Making money could happen even here in Uganda, but I wanted to study. And this course, by the way, was nowhere in Uganda. So I had to pursue it in India. So I also learned that one has to be flexible and resilient. By the way, India is not a simple country. There's a lot of hustling. And remember, it was tough, but I remember that the few South Africans, I think there were 2, we arrived together at the Hyderabad airport, and just in a week, they had given up and they went back home. But no, I couldn't come back to Uganda without an MSc. How would I face my people? How would I face my young family? I had to push, and I did it. And within 2 years, I was back with my certificate. So we also need to know that scholarships are time bound, and if you don't get serious, time gets up with you. Some people I found in India, my colleagues, who were also had gone for this kind of scholarship. You know, first of course, as I said, it is tough there, but then later you get used, you get friends, and then life moves on. And at the end of the day, you forget actually why you had gone for studying. You go into life. And so within a short time, 2 years are done, and you have not finished the course. And remember, home there was no money. And so you start sleeping the whole day. And then I remember there are some people who had to raise some money to get back home, even without finishing the course. That is really an embarrassment, of course, to the government that is supporting you, and also to yourself for the time that is wasted. Then also to know who you are and what you want, even after getting the scholarship. Keep a good discipline and academic record, because these things build upon each other. Like, you will not be an indisciplined person and then you think maybe your mentors will select you for a job opportunity. And then also to learn about the culture of the country you are going in, so that you can easily adapt to changes, so that you easily fit in time. Okay. Then, of course, one more thing I learned on this ICCR scholarship is that there are so many rich Ugandans in these countries. Especially, we found many rich Ugandans in India. And so because they know ICCR was a basic scholarship, they would feel so sorry for it. They would say, oh, Bambe, she's on ICCR scholarship. And yet for you, you went proudly. I mean, it is a pride to your family that you're in India, because after all, how would I travel to India? But you know, now you find there's someone who is sympathizing with you. And somehow, if you're not careful or serious, that sympathy can take you off from your goal. So it is also important to know ourselves, I think, to know where you come from and to know what you're pursuing, so that these people you find who are in luxury should not really take you off your goal. Okay, thank you. The next slide. Okay, and then finally, after MSc, I come back to Uganda with a Master of Science in Biotechnology. So the families, by the way, the children have grown. And yeah, so that was I went in India in 2013. So 2015, I'm back to Uganda with my MSc certificate. And then 2017, Mbara University of Science and Technology advertises for the African Center of Excellence 2 under Farm Biotrack for PhD, and they needed biotechnologists. Like, it was mandatory, biotechnologists had to be on this course. So you see, now God really makes a way. And this, because it was really tiresome, was studying 2 years away from home, I had asked God that the next should be really done at home. And this opportunity came, but important to note is that even when I was in India, I kept in touch with my mentors at Mbara University, my supervisors of bachelor's course. Of course, you identify some mentors, so I kept in touch. So when such an opportunity came, I was among the first people to know. And this was a good scholarship, I can say, because it was moderate. It would give accommodation. It would give, good stipend. It would give a research fund good enough for your research. It would also give lab placement opportunities wherever you wanted, and even some travel to international labs. So this was a good opportunity. And so I also learned some key points that I would want to share with you. One, don't underestimate the role of mentors. Right away from writing a CV, a resume, the concept note, and the whole application process, including mentorship into the real world of work, collaborations, and partnerships. Because for every scholarship I have applied for, actually, my mentors have been behind me, even this final one. And actually, it is on this course, this scholarship, that I also got another scholarship, the African Union scholarship. This I got it after this SCE2, but yeah, it was also an addition. So PhD was, I did my PhD in comfort because I had some good money to support me and my family, so that there is no stress. So please, mentorship. Look for a mentor. I hope, Mr. Abel, you have talked about mentors. If not, I think this is a topic that needs to be very emphasized, because you won't go very far if you don't have a mentor. Because you need these people. They will refer to you. They refer you to job opportunities. They know so many people whom you have not met. They can easily connect you somewhere, and then on that connection, you find you are building yourself. Then also, these scholarship programs need to give accountability. So if you cannot keep on track, you get eliminated. Imagine, I told you this was a good scholarship, but some people who were admitted could not stay on track. So after 1 year for PhD, you're supposed to present your proposal approved. But someone gets to 2 years before they can make it. And then finally you're eliminated on course. And of course, then you have wasted an opportunity for someone else who could have been taken up. Then this was a good opportunity, because remember, my background was a secondary school teacher. I had not yet gotten entry into the university. So this was an opportunity. It allowed me to begin, volunteer lecturing. Still, my mentors are the ones who gave me such because they are already people at the university, and maybe you have handled yourself well, you are good. So they gave me an opportunity to volunteer. And of course, opportunities come to prepared minds. So it is on this opportunity that I built on and finally got into the faculty, into the department, to begin lecturing. And so henceforth, I have been able to mentor many students, and I do this with much willingness, because I too have been mentored. So it has been an opportunity, and I don't take this for granted, because on this project, so this project actually earmarked me to run their biotechnology lab. So I'm actually also a lab manager of Farm BioTrack. So you can see, because you must show your mentors that you are there, and because you are there, there's a scholarship. You're not running up and down to look for other jobs. So you're settled, and so you can take up any opportunity that is available. So I will end with this quote that it is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the ones most responsive to change. It is not the strongest of the species that survive, nor the most intelligent, but the ones most responsive to change. That was Charles Darwin. Thank you so much. And thank you, Abel, for the opportunity to share with these people.
Wonderful session. Thank you so much, Dr. Hilda. It's been a very, very, very amazing session. And I believe that very many people have so many questions. So we are opening the discussion on questions. Please feel free to unmute, to type your question in the chat, and ask whatever you want to know about this journey, this experience from a bachelor's degree to a master's degree, sorry, to a PhD degree, because for me it has really been eye-opening, and it has showed me that resilience, discipline, mentorship many times is very important for us to grow. So later, if you have any questions, please feel free to share in the chat or ask to unmute. Thank you so much, Dr. Hilda.
You're welcome.
By Nomogisha, can I go first?
Please,
Yes,
please go. Please go.
Yeah.
We are two by Nomgishas, unfortunately. Sorry.
Okay, apologies. So Hilda, thank you so much for the great presentation, and you've really hammered the message home. But you say that you've been doing coaching and mentorship at Mbarara University and for Western Ugandan university students, and that's how you got inspired when you saw me doing what you were also doing. Can you share with us your top tip observations that you have observed? Most of the people on the call here are searching for scholarships. What have you observed over years that you can recommend at this stage? What would you recommend at this stage for people who are seeking out for scholarships?
Thank you so much, Abel. I think I mentioned that briefly, that there's nobody who's going to give you a free, okay, it is like free money, but it is actually not free. These people are looking out for people who are going to push their agenda. For every scholarship, for every person who sits and writes a project, a grant, they have an objective. So they will need a student, they will need someone who will come and push their objective to completion. And if I'm looking out for a student, from their resume, from their concept, and even because we even interview them like these DAAD students. If you interview someone, you can see the zeal. You can see how they answer questions. If you say, okay, within 2 days, respond to these comments and get back to me. There are those who will respond within 1 day, but there are those who will respond after 2 weeks. So if you were the one, who would you go with? Because it means if I go with this one who's taking 2 weeks to respond, even before they have got the scholarship, so how about when they get the scholarship? It will take more years than expected. So people need someone who is ready to push their agenda, someone who is ready to take up the mantle and proceed. But what I've realized over time, our students, I can say, I don't know whether it is this generation, but even in this generation, you'll find those who are ready to take up the mantle, but then there are those who will be soft. And I think the world is like that. So it will be survival for the fittest at the end of the day. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. By Nomogisha, over to you. I know there are many people who want to ask.
Um, I hope that's me. So yes, please.
I should go next so that I stop the confusion.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much, Abel, for sending me the invite. And I'm really very sorry that I just tapped a few minutes of Dr. Hilda's wonderful presentation. Thank you so much, Dr. Hilda. And good evening, everyone. So I have like three. Allow me, my namesake, to just ask or comment on 3 points. Number one is the choice of biotechnology. I have an experience that one of my own brothers was awarded a program at Makerere on government in biotechnology. And that time, our target really was medicine. And I said, I'm going to pay for medicine. I'm not going to allow you to go to do biotechnology, even when it is offered on government. I really want to get an insight from you on how far, what are the strides that we have made in as far as biotechnology is concerned in Uganda, because, you know, we started to see how we survive in life. Now you go to do a course where you do not see whether there is going to be a job or not. So I'd like to get an insight. Of course, eventually he has become a doctor and yeah, he's moved on. But in case I have another shot, maybe I would choose biotechnology over medicine with your insight. That's number one. Number two, you said you went to India for 2 years after with 2 children. Were you returning home at all, or for the entire 2 years you were in India completely not coming back? And how was that experience? Because it can be draining, especially with young children who require a mother around as they grow. And how did you manage that? Then my last comment, I've seen a question from Pamela. Pamela has written that she's a 4th year SEM1 student, and she's asking if she can apply for a master's scholarship. I wanted to make a comment, if I may be allowed. Number one, I don't know what program Pamela is doing, but Dr. Abel, from my experience, especially from my own brother who recently moved to the US for his residency program, he delayed to get to know about the idea of residency. And because now I have another young brother at MAST, who is also in year 4, same one, doing medicine, he has gotten to know that he can actually do the US medical licensing exams early enough, and he's doing them. He's doing them this month of September. So by the time he finishes 5th year, he's likely going to be ready to move to the States for his residency. So yes, you can start early enough, get prepared. I think some of these things, luck comes to the prepared. So that's the comment I wanted to make. I thank you so much.
Okay, so maybe I first respond to your queries. The first one, biotechnology better than medicine, or medicine better than biotechnology? I usually tell the students, and maybe you can also take this information, that at the end of the day, it may not really matter the course you have done, but what you want, okay, what you take out into the job market. Maybe that one may be so broad, but Mr. Abel will now confirm with me that I am not only teaching biotechnology, but I'm applying biotechnology. I specialized in pharmaceutical biotechnology. So I can say that pharmacists do, because I'm producing drugs, either from plants or from microbes or from any other sources. So if maybe at one time I cried that, oh, I have failed because I've not made it to medicine or to pharmacy, and I didn't look at how later I can really polish up myself and come back into the whole setup, I think that would not have been good. So I would say your brother can, by the way, even up to now when he has done medicine, he can still master in biotechnology, because there's medical biotechnology, there's industrial biotech. I mean, biotechnology is so wide. So if his dream was to do medicine, or if his dream was to do biotechnology, don't be surprised he will get to biotechnology again. So me, I don't think there's really a better course from any other, but what you take out to implement is really what matters. Then two, for the 2 years, I didn't stay in India. After 1 year, because my young boy is now in P7 going to do his PLE. By that time, he was 9 months when I left. But I can say when you have an understanding family, because I think I'm married to one of the best families. So, and even my husband, we had agreed. So after 1 year, I really had to come back, because I really I believe even if we made money, even if we went into career, even if we did everything, without family, then really it is nothing. And then the third question, what was the third question?
Was a comment about a fourth student, whether she could
A fourth
apply
year
for
student. So I think also, as I said, these scholarships usually have terms and conditions. I have seen second years medicine students applying for scholarships, and so there are those scholarships which are targeting medical students. They are usually there. If you look out for them, you can get them. But fourth year is almost finishing. And I think that would just be like 1 year. Yes, but I think she can try. You know, the good thing is that you try. And if you try, most probably you'll get what you want. Thank you.
Over to you, host. I think maybe you are talking muted.
Yeah, Bainomugisha. Bena, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes. Thank you so much for the presentation. And the questions, I saw one in the chat which was saying that can someone's mentor be an age mentor, or do we have to be someone else, maybe who's older? So someone shared the question in the chat. So yes.
Mentorship. Okay. For me, I believe if, for example, it is for academic purposes, surely your mentor will not be your age mate, because you're looking at someone who's already exposed, maybe in writing articles, in writing grants, in knowledge and every other thing. So now your age mate, who you're studying with in the same year, that one can be a peer educator. You can peer educate each other, you can motivate each other. But I think when it comes to mentorship, someone should be at a higher level than you. Maybe someone else can add on.
Yes, thank you so much. I see more questions in the chat. Before I let Geoffrey and Timothy go ahead to ask your questions, I'd like to ask how best can someone approach an academic mentor, and maybe how do you make yourself available, or how do you put yourself in a position where your preferred academic mentor will be interested in mentoring you? Can you hear me?
Sorry, someone disorganized me with the call. Please say it again.
Yes, I'm inquiring, how do you put yourself in a position where your preferred academic mentor or preferred professional mentor would be interested in mentoring you or taking you up?
Okay, I will speak like a mentor that I am now. If a student came, and by that times they don't even tell you that, like they don't tell you that they want you to be their mentor. But through persistence, communication, through what the student does, you will realize, because they will come, they need advice on this, you give it to them. Maybe they go and do it, or they don't. And maybe if it was going to build on something that is coming to ask again after 2 weeks, then you will ask, by the way, you came here, did you do the other thing? And he will say, oh, no. Of course, if he would have done it, you would have known. Then you say, maybe you'll go back and do it, research about it, because now you need that information before we can go ahead. And then maybe again he will take like 3 months. And then when there's another call, then he comes again. And so you will realize this student is not serious, but is bringing himself. You may try to do your best, but sure, if you compare them with another student who came and is progressing, then proudly you will want to associate with the first one who is progressing on how you're communicating and what you're sharing, than this one who needs you to first call to remind, oh, by the way, we had agreed that you would write a manuscript. Then he will say, oh, I got busy, but I will come back. I will send a topic that I've chosen. Then it takes 4 months to send just the topic. Yeah. You will keep pushing, mentoring, but if I was the one, now if there's an opportunity, like I have a project and I would want to mentor someone, even in skills, then I would not go for the other one. I would go for the first one, who is proactive, who is really ready to work. I hope I have
Thank you
answered
so
that.
much. Yes, definitely. I see Timothy's hand has been up. Please feel free to unmute.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hilda. Am I audible enough?
Yes.
Yes, my name is Timothy Omugisha. I want to ask about the movement between a master's and a PhD. Would you advise someone to first work after that master's so as to acquire some experience so that they are able to do what they really want, or it is very okay for someone to immediately go on and do a PhD? Thank you.
Because for me, I first worked, but I would not really encourage. If there's an opportunity, it is easier for one to connect from bachelor's, the skills, the research skills, the thinking, the everything. It is easier to connect immediately from bachelor's to master's. You connect. At PhD, this world is different for different people. Some people will connect immediately from master's, go for PhD. I have such colleagues, and they are doing well. After everything, after all the study, by 29, 30, they are done with academics and they are ready now to move into the world. So I can say, in whichever way life comes, I think we should learn to be flexible. If the opportunities are there, take them. But if they are not, still, don't kill yourself. If there is a job, pursue it as you look for other opportunities of career growth and development. Or if you can do both at a go, if you can work and study, but as I said, it is hectic. It is hectic, and people who work and study at the same time, if the PhD course is 3 years, I have seen people take even up to 13 years to finish the course because the course itself is tough. And the work outside is also tough. So actually, for me, when I began the PhD, I just asked for. Okay.
So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Hilda. Yes, we have Asaba Joffrey. Your hand has also been up. Please feel free to unmute.
Thank you so much, Doctor and the team. For me, my concern, some of the questions have been answered, but another concern is how best can someone prepare for a government interview, especially masters, of which some of us have tried to apply. If you happen to be shortlisted, how best can someone prepare in order to win that scholarship? Thank you.
Okay. Do you think that question can be answered here? Because now it means someone would need to know which course you're going for. Because I went through that kind of interview when I was going to India. There are so many other, to Germany, to Egypt, to where, to UK. But I think you'd need to sit one-on-one with someone. You can even give me a call after this. And so that you talk, we speak at length. But this one is just an overview of everything. It may not really give you exactly what you want. But you at least you need to first know your content. You need to know this job that you have been doing. What is it helping you in the course that you're going to do? What achievements have you done previously at your previous work that are now that you're building on? Because now if you have no achievements previously, then as if even after this other new course, you may not have any output. So people must see that you have outshined yourself at the work you have been doing, and so now you deserve something. So you must prepare yourself according to what you have been doing, because those questions will always come on the job you have been doing. What have you done? Achievements, outputs. Why do you think you deserve now to go for this scholarship? So it will basically be on your life that you have now that you'll build on for the next life. And of course, steadiness, how you answer the people, how you look at them, because a prepared person will always be seen, and the confidence, of course. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. I know there are so many questions, but we are almost coming to a close. So I'm going to take 2 more questions. Yes, Elon, you've had your hand up. Please, you can unmute, and then Dr. Dan Musinguzi will conclude. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think also I don't think I will ask so many questions because of time. I want to thank Dr. Hilda for such a wonderful presentation. Thank you so much. You've been very encouraging. probably, I just wanted to give just a short comment. And I think just to add on to what you already alluded to, that, sometimes it does not really matter about the course someone has done, but honestly, what you do with what has been given to you, what is available to you, and how far you're able to take what you have, what you have in your hands. And so probably to encourage people, I think my background is clinical medicine, but I work in the research, world. But I have actually realized that if you have skills, it is the way, you forge those skills around you to be able to get out of those skills what you want. And so sometimes, yes, the course is very important, but in the job market, it's a completely different ballgame. It is, you need to master. There are some arts that you have to master in order for you to achieve exactly what you want. And also self-awareness. You need to know yourself. What am I very good at? What skills do I have? Do I have people skills? Do I, am I able to, complete tasks? When you are self-aware, then you're able to use what has been given to you as skills from school, and then you broaden your arena, or move far. So I want to thank you so much for that.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes, I'll invite Dr. Dan to conclude.
Thank you, Dr. Hilda, for those inspiring stories. Actually, your stories demonstrate what I call the magnetic effect of scholarships. What do I mean? When you win one scholarship, it doesn't end there. It attracts other scholarships and other opportunities. So guys who are here know that when you put in that effort to win that scholarship, basically you are paving a way for more scholarships and more opportunities to come, because funders will see, oh, you've won a scholarship before, then your application is looked at in a different light. And it's very important to understand this. And I usually tell people this, that winning a fully funded scholarship is a profitable investment. Thanks so much for those inspiring stories.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Dr. Hilda. This presentation has been very elaborate and to the point. We appreciate you, all the people who still have questions. We definitely shall have to have another session on this. Thank you so much for sharing your experience, and thank you for being here.